Maybe I'm overconfident, but I didn't even set the camera up today after having changed it and moved it for our exercise session yesterday. So I hope everything is okay with you. This morning I'm going to talk about a specific aspect of hypermobility that is very close to my heart. And that is the aspect of hypermobility and its link to the community in rehabilitation and recovery from addictions and trauma. Now, this might be an obscure link to some of you, but it seems a very sensible one to me. In listening to this small presentation, I don't want you to think that I suddenly have taken on the role of doctor. I am putting these ideas to you that you might listen and think about them. I don't want you to go off your meds. I'm not trying to cure anybody. I don't think I'm Mrs. Fix-It. I just think here are some ideas that you might like to explore with me at a later time. I'm always here. My message hasn't changed. I've been speaking of the same things for many, many years. It's interesting to note that rehab centres and recovery centres that are not doing the yoga program ethically, responsibly, and honestly are really not having amazing success with their communities. And as a case in point of someone who's super successful in working with people in recovery, I'd like to point out Noah Levine in the States, who does refuge and recovery, and he uses a totally Buddhist method and model for his work. When I worked in rehab and recovery centres, I used a yoga and Buddhist model for my work. And a lot of the time I work pro bono in order to explore these models widely and consistently, because not many people understood what I was doing and largely were unwilling to fund it. So I did it on my own bat, and I explored these possibilities, and I came even more to the conclusion that Noah Levine is right. If you are hypermobile, and hypermobility is one of the keys, if you are hypermobile and your collagen is not correct genetically, then there's a whole swag of symptoms that you might be experiencing. Just because you're hypermobile doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to become addicted. But a lot of times in the younger community it does, because this younger community has not had the family support, the community's support, or the church support to understand how they can take responsibility for themselves with the assistance of elders. And elders are few and far between out there who are paying attention. So if, for instance, you're born and you have trouble taking milk, so your mother believes that you've rejected her and she rejects you, and then she mightn't do it in a very overt way, but you get that feeling that all is not well. And you're a kind of irritable child, and then you go on to school and learning difficulties appear. You're quite popular because you're not that bad at sport, and maybe you, as a girl, you drift into ballet because you have one of those bodies. or gymnastics or something of that nature that's singular. If you're a boy, you might later on go into golf because you've got beautiful swing and great movement of the hips and the body. You want strength, so that you try weightlifting, but that doesn't particularly work. It works to a point, but it gives you damage. So you've got all these things happening at the same time. You've got a little or a lot of dyslexia and maybe problems with schooling, and a little bit of anxiety and depression, or a lot of anxiety and depression. And it goes on, and your mum takes you to this therapist and that therapist and this doctor and that doctor, and so you end up with a whole pile of doctors and nothing is changing. And you're at a party one night and somebody says, try this or try that, and you try it and bingo, the world has changed without you really having to do anything. Well, we all know that can't be real. It's a temporary thing. And you try it again and it doesn't quite work, and costs more, and you try it again and it works even less and costs even more, and so it goes on, and eventually you lose self-respect and you lose whatever you have. As an adult, you might lose lots of money and a house and children and all that kind of thing. But your first premise was correct. You wanted to be well. Maybe you went to a rehab centre or something like that, so they got you well for a number of months by taking everything away and not putting anything back. They didn't teach you the role of diet, and they didn't teach you how to meditate, and they didn't teach you about yoga, and they didn't teach you about responsibility, and they didn't teach you about how to respond to a community, etc., etc. So where to now? Well, a lot of people come to me, and as I said to someone the other day, please understand, I'm a grouchy old tart. If you come to me, we're not playing games. This is really important stuff, and I want you to change. I'm not interested in playing. I'm not interested in being sweet to you. I'm not interested in what you think your plan is. I want you to do my plan. If you want to get well, spending an hour with me once a fortnight or even once a week is useless. You've got to think, okay, this is really important stuff. This is the stuff that's going to change my life around. So how much is my life worth? Is it worth more than 1 hour a week? I mean, I'm not unrealistic. I know what I ask is difficult. So with meditation, we start out at 3 minutes a day. You have 24 hours. Can you spare 3 minutes? We start out with 10, 12 minutes of exercise. We're up to 15 minutes a day now. Goodness me. Do you have that? And then I say to you, okay, now we're going to have to look at diet a little bit. Cigarettes, Mars bars and Coca-Cola is not going to do it for you. You've got to start eating, making stews and soups and learning the gorgeousness of rice and all that kind of stuff, and you're going to probably have to learn to do it for yourself. A lot of guys that I met, they don't even know how to turn a stove on. They've been taken care of for the whole of their lives, and where has it got them? Nowhere. So you're going to have to start taking sensible care of yourself. Then you're going to have to take care of this upstairs. This is where the armors come in. No killing, no lying, no stealing, respecting all things, and taking no more than you need. So you can see it's not it's not an easy process, even for people who are not addicted, people who are not hypermobile, people who are just living their everyday lives, who want to get better and better. it's not an easy process, but we take it in baby steps. And if you fudge it and you have to start again, that's okay. There's plenty of time. We're not in a hurry. We're just in a hurry to start. We're just in a hurry for you to say, okay, let's do this for a year and see where we go. Not let's do this on Monday afternoon and if it doesn't work, I'm going home. Let's do this for a year. It can work in with your lifestyle. It can work in, well, depending on what your lifestyle is. It can work in with family life. It can work in with a job. I know from the work that's been done in India, the work that's been done in Europe, the work Noah Levine is doing in the States, the work that people are doing all over the world, that this is a path. It's not the only path, but it's a path that's working superbly well right now. And yoga is thousands of years old. People will say to me, oh, well, is it okay if we do Pilates? No, you can do Pilates as well. But Pilates doesn't have philosophy. Pilates is all about bones and muscles. It was devised by Joseph Pilates to ease his bad back. Yoga is not the exercise. We come to yoga through the asanas. But asanas are not yoga. Yoga is everything else. It's a path. It's not just touch your toes 20 times in the morning, bingo, you're better. No. This is a path. And I would love you to say that you'll have a go at the path. I don't want you to win. I don't want to win. I want you to get better. And if getting better is winning, then we both win. For me, yoga is not about the asanas. You won't find people in Lycra in my class. You won't find the beautiful people in my class. My beautiful people are much different kind of beautiful people. My beautiful people might come in their pajamas, as I've said before. That's fine. You come to 6 o'clock in the morning class, you might feel like coming in your pajamas, particularly in the winter. But it's not about the asanas. Class is quite different to that. I've tried all kinds of things, all kinds of ways. I've been doing this for 50 years. Do you think I've got an idea of what works? Sure have. If you want to come and see what works, or you want to get better, no matter what ails you, keep watching. It is really important stuff. There is no weightlifting required. There is no running 20 kilometers before breakfast required. Lycra is not required. Patanjali and many scholars before him have said, in order to do yoga, all you need is a receptive mind. Not a beautiful body, a receptive mind. Do you have a receptive mind? If you have a receptive mind, you are my kind of student, and I want to see you on my doorstep. Okay? I am just really enjoying watching the rehab centers who think they've got the answers but haven't put yoga, meditation, diet into their programs. They won't work. Getting some 20-year-old blonde person just out of teacher training to do a yoga class isn't yoga. It's fitness. It's beauty, it's other things, but not yoga. When you know what yoga is, I will not be able to keep you away from it. You will be here on my doorstep daily. Please think about it. please think about it. I don't say that I've got the only answers. I'm not God. I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to fix things. I'm trying to lead you to the point where you can make changes that will make changes. Where you can start to see the light. As Mike Belstead said to me once, and it's really correct, what we do is we get these people who are on the edge of a cliff, and in front of them is a fast flowing stream, and we know where to put the feet on the rocks to get across, on the stepping stones. If the student comes and says, oh, well, I like that stepping stone and I don't like that stepping stone, and you can take that one away and I don't want to do that one, will they get across the river? No. We know the stepping stones. We know where to place them, and we know that you have to go across them. If you don't want to go across, that's your business. There's plenty of time. You know, we've got lifetime upon lifetime upon lifetime, if you believe that. So you can decide to take the stepping stones. You can decide to go where I tell you to put your feet, or you can go your own way. If you look at your life, you'll see how successful that is. I'm not trying to make money. You'll notice there's no Rolls Royce in my driveway. I'm not trying to, even if I have one student, that's fine. I only need one student. I can change the world with one student. And I'd like you to pay attention. I'd like you to think, maybe this is the way to go. I'd like you to believe that you can change. I think you can. I haven't met many people who haven't changed, only those who didn't want to. Do you want to change? Not going to be easy. If you do want to change, then either come see me or keep watching and do what I say to do. Have you watched the Yamas, the first 5 videos? Have you had a notepad? Did you write the stuff down? This is not just me waffling away. I've got better things to do. I could be painting. But I'm talking to you. Every one of you who's watching, I'm talking to you. Listen, please. Listen, 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 and then listen some more. Have a lovely day. Namaste. I'm out, my day off, theoretically. I live in a rainy part of the world. They say if you can't see the mountain, it's raining, and if you can see the mountain, it's going to rain. But that's okay. Have a great day. Bye.